Yeah, I think by that time we already got it all out of us. Yeah, we're Big 12 championships, but what's next?
First day of spring practice, Kitty played. We are the champions on Luke. Kind of, I think, send a message to you guys. How do you describe the overall vibe of the team right now, heading into this year, with that in mind?
Yeah, I think by that time we already got it all out of us. Yeah, we're Big 12 championships, but what's next? We weren't looking back on that like we get to take this spring off. We're coming off a championship, so it's just one of those things. Get tired of it. So.
Keyshawn, what's your focus heading into fall camp here in the next couple weeks, couple days?
I would say get better every day. There's a lot of things I need to improve on. Help the team on, and looking back at last year's film, I'm looking at games like even just this spring, I've gotten a lot better in this situation compared to where I was last year. A lot more confident too. So I'm trying to get everything together. Get ready to play. Play a good long season, stay healthy.
What are the little things you want to improve on, whether that be during the season or during fall camp?
I want to play faster, get to the ball faster, play in the backfield more, affect the quarterback more, getting some passing lanes. And, good thing I get to play against the best quarterback in the nation because, we just these 7-on-7s we do as players, you make some throws, you're like, man, yeah, he's a good quarterback, so he's definitely getting us defense better.
How does that offense challenge you, do you think, with Sam, Jordan, Kanye, Shaman?
Yeah, like you say, yeah, there's a bunch of weapons. First you got JT, then you got Shaman, then you have Malik, and then you got Turbo running 80-yard deep balls. So there's a lot of things that the offense does that it sets us up for success throughout. We're going to see in the season. I think, like you said, Sam, he gets us going. He's a competitive guy too. So if he makes a good throw, he's going to let you know it. So. Yeah, we get along as an offense and defense, so I think everything just floats around and we get going.
You mentioned how many people are coming back on defense. How did you kind of see that throughout spring ball with just communication on defense, especially you?
I would say with all of us coming back, and we have 10 out of 11 starters coming back, so I think we're all on the same page. We can do more now. We can run cover 3, but make it look like complete other defense for the quarterback. So it's just a bunch of little things that you can mess around with, and yeah.
Specifically in the linebacker, how have you seen you guys sort of play off each other, and it doesn't matter first or second team, just everyone come back?
Yeah.
How do you think that is your overall talent level as you guys play everywhere on the field?
Yeah, I mean, I think last year at this point we were still all competing because we had three transfers coming in. What was it? 2 freshmen coming in. So, it's a big competitive role in that linebacker room. So if you've ever been a part of that, you don't really get along with each other. So now, now that that's gone, we still compete every day, but we've also built relationships with each other. We get along, we hang out with each other off the field. So, it's exciting. I look forward to coming up here every day.
Keyshawn, what's the code depth?
Oh, yeah. So I think there's 4 teams on the defensive side of the ball, and it's they count up what we do, how many picks your team has, how many punches and strips, and there's a whole bunch of little things, pursuits and all that add up, and it's the coaches will track it. Actually, I'm a 3-time champion at that, my team. Shout out to my team. So yeah, let's get it.
Keyshawn, what do you make now having the summertime to kind of reflect on everything from last year and the spring as well, and kind of recenter yourself for this fall? How's that process been for you getting set in game?
Yeah, it's been smooth. I think really good actually, coming off of last year and watching all the film and knowing what I need to improve on, talking to my coaches and other people outside of the facility and everything that I need to do to get better. It's all been going good. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to this year.
I know you spent some time, you had some snapping and scratching. You still doing any of that over the summer?
Were you watching?
Watching it? Seen a little bit at the
Yeah. If you were watching, I should probably tell you that I'm not doing it anymore.
With KMT coming up, what are some things you like and some things that are not so fun about it?
KMT, I mean, I wasn't really looking forward to it last year because I heard all this sleeping situations and the bunk beds and all that. But I think once you get up there and you get night 1 over with, you enjoy it. You enjoy your time there. And now looking back at it, I really did like KMT. I'm excited going forward to it.
Shaman was mentioning getting blisters on the hike. What's kind of the hike like? And last year getting the whole team to the top.
Yeah. There's definitely So last year I made a mistake. I went behind a couple old linemen. So I'm sitting there looking straight up. I got 300-pound guys. Like if they take the wrong step, they're coming back on me. I'm going down with them. But yeah, the hike it's challenging. It's no joke, but it's fun. It's a good time, and you get to laugh at the guys that have never done things like that. So.
I think the biggest difference going into PNT this year compared to last year, obviously, last year you didn't as a first year guy, like you said, battle for spots, but first thing that we said last year is that you're a prototypical teammate that even in your first year you were someone down, all of your other teammates wanted to gather about. So how do you kind of carry that into this year?
Yeah, I think, like I said, I've built a lot of relationships with people, and I feel like the team looks up to me more because I've built those levels with them. And but yeah, I'm just looking forward to working with everybody, especially this fall camp, because we all need to get better, and we all have our eyes set on one goal. So yeah, I'm just really excited.
Obviously not on the field in terms of how the rest of the guys on the field are just responding to your snap checks and everything.
I would say, yeah, good. We're all on the same page. Like I said, a lot of us returners are all playing in the one defense, and there's young guys thrown in there at times, but I mean, we're all on the same page. Everybody's trusting each other, and at the end of the day, that's all it takes. Even if you're wrong, you guys trust each other. You guys listen to the guys speaking. You can never be wrong.
Who do you think stood out the most to you over the summer? Summer workouts, on the field stuff.
I would say the work ethic. I mean, our weekends are obviously non-mandatory. There's probably 95% of the team here, 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, and you don't have to do that. I'll come up here late at night, just a random day. There'll be people working out. Like I said, JT's always up here. I don't know if he goes home. He works out in the second group. I get here pretty early, and his truck's here before me. I don't know what he's doing, but he's here. But yeah, I think everybody's just, they're committed. They're willing to work this year.
How early are we talking?
Shoot, I get here probably, we start lift at 7:15. I get here probably 5:55, 6 o'clock, and JT's here. I don't know what he does. Sometimes we pull in at the same time, but yeah, he's working this year.
How cool is it to see some of your team's best players leading the example with that work ethic?
It's good, yeah. I think that's what you got to have as a good team, and obviously we're striving to be a player-led defense and a team. So you see guys like JT and Sam and X all up here early in the morning. As a young guy, you're going to look up to somebody and like, man, I got to start doing that. So yeah, it's really good.
You got a new tattoo.
I did. On the back of my leg.
You've only been here for your second season. Coming here, just take us inspiration behind that motivation by showing your commitment and love for the program.
Yeah, man. It was a really easy decision to make, being around here. This is pretty much the most fun I've had with college football, in my long 6 years, man. But, yeah, man, just me, I as you can see, I like tattoos and stuff a lot, man. So just having the opportunity to add that as well shows how much this program, these group of guys, and this city really means to me.
What about playing here is so funny?
Man, just really the atmosphere, the fans packing out the stadium week in and week out, just being able to see and actually be a part of the shift. When I first got here last January, when you say, you play football at ASU, people are like, oh, okay, that's cool, whatever, man. But putting in the work and actually seeing the shift and how everybody wants to, like Coach Dillingham says, activate the Valley, and everybody wants to be a part of it, man, just, being a guy that I know that I want to leave things better than I found it, man. So being able to come here and mesh with my guys and build that team chemistry, that's been the funnest parts of it for me.
At what point did it click where you're like, I'm going to put some ink on my stand, that signifies the Sun Devils?
I think it was probably about the middle of January after our season ended, and I was like, man, that was magical, man. That season, a lot of things really don't happen like that all the time. Things really don't happen like that all the time, man. So having a part of that with me forever. We finally got our ring, so I might have to add that to the back, But being able to be a part of something that doesn't happen all the time, man, I knew it had to stick with me forever.
Competitiveness is one of the most important traits about this team, I feel like, and you're maybe one of the fieriest guys on the team. What about that makes this such a good match for you?
It really makes our entire team as a whole better, If I'm bringing guys like, Roman Petrie and Albert Smith behind me, man, I know that the program's going to be in a really great place when I'm done, So being able to just make everybody around you better. You know, there's only 11 guys that's gonna be on the field, man, but everybody that puts on a Sun Devil uniform, or everybody that coaches, everybody that's in the building contributes in some way, man. So getting everybody to push and give their all and everything that they have is really my main goal.
I think last year, we were one of the first guys to tweet that you're coming back. Why did you tweet why?
Man, it was really easy decision to come back, man. You know, I knew I had another year of eligibility left, and I knew that there were still things left for me to prove in college football, and no greater place than here. You know what I'm saying? I trust Coach Dillingham and our staff with everything that they put in place for us. And like I said before, like coming from a different program, you get to really have two different perspectives on things, man. And coming over here and the group of guys that we have in our locker room and the staff that Coach Dillingham put in place, all the way down to, you know, the equipment staff and everybody really meshes and gels really well together, man. So coming back for another year and another opportunity to chase your goals and do everything that you want to do is a really easy decision for me.
You're one of the few guys on the roster that's been in multiple CFP appearances. You know it's not a given the next year, and everything is a fresh start. So what are some of the things you're trying to talk about, or maybe the coaches are talking about? It's like, this isn't necessarily a linear, you know, trajectory. Like, we need to, what are the hunting?
Exactly. Coach Dillingham let it be known to us that out of the entire Big 12, I think only one team has won it back-to-back. You know, so being able to have an opportunity to go do something that's never been done before, but also knowing that it's very hard. You know what I'm saying? So being able to just chase your goals and just focus on the day-to-day tasks each and every day. I can't get to step 20 before I, finish step 1. So just focusing day-to-day, just perfecting your craft, coming out with your guys and leaning on one another. You know, we're getting ready to go through those dog days of camp and stuff like that. So just going in and focusing on the things that you can control, rankings and preseason polls and preseason all-conference teams. You can't control none of that. The only thing that you can control is coming to work every day. So being able to just come in here and focus on, the little things, and I feel like the rest will take care of itself.
How much would it mean to go back-to-back?
It'll mean the world to me, finishing out on top, man. Everybody has the goals of winning championships and doing things like that, man. But I feel like, to me, a staple coming out of, this isn't a blue blood, if the Ohio States, the Alabamas of the college football world, man. So being able to come here and do that back-to-back and to show that, you don't need, for high school recruits and stuff like that, you don't need to chase big names. You can do it with the guys that you have surrounded. And I feel that if you have a really good group and everybody's bought in, man, anything is possible.
Do you feel like this team can become a blue blood?
Absolutely, man. Coach Dillingham is a young head coach with a lot of great energy, and he's on the rise, man. And all the different changes with college football, man. I feel like this is definitely trending in the right direction to become one of those powerhouse names in college football.
Do you guys talk about that at all? Like, just amongst you guys, just the idea of becoming a blue blood or going back-to-back?
Nah, man, you really just, like I said before, man, you come in and focus on the little things, man. Everybody comes in and just enjoys the things that we do every day, man. And kind of with our workout schedule, it's kind of hard to look too far in the future. You got to get to the end of the week first.
It seems like you and Coach Reynolds have a really strong relationship. There was a moment in spring camp last year where you kind of talked up, and your team was trying to be quiet, and Coach Reynolds let you talk back, and you guys had a one-on-one conversation. So how do you describe the relationship between you and Coach Reynolds? How has it impacted you and whatnot?
Man, it's a family, man. Coach Reynolds is a guy that's been through it all, seen it all, man. And when you are blessed to have a position coach with a resume like that, man, it's only right that you go and pick his brain and gain as much knowledge as possible, man. And in families, things get heated sometimes, and especially in the D-line room, man. But just knowing that at the end of the day, everybody really has the same goals and the same interests, man. You know that everything is all out of the love of the game, man. So it makes it easier that I know that even when things hit the fan, that all those guys in that room, they're going to have my back at the end of the day.
Everybody in the offense, with Sam coming back as a starter as opposed to last year, you guys really not knowing who would be the guy right off the bat. What's kind of the feel just for the offense coming into camp?
I think there's a lot of expectations now that Scott's gone, so I feel like we're
still going to live up to the hype, but it's something we got to prove to ourselves.
And as far as the other tight ends in the room, you know, a lot of young guys now too. What kind of role are you playing in there as a leader?
I'm just trying to teach them as much as I can. I don't suck up as much knowledge as I know and pass it on to them. So when my time here is up, I know I've done my job and they'll be ready to step up.
Is the mentality, it has to be a lot different this year than it was last year?
I mean, last year what they had us ranked 16th. I feel like it's about how we respond to success this year, since a lot of people are trying to bank on us this year all of a sudden, ride the wave. But it's our game, it's our tempo. We're gonna do it our way.
How about the tight ends room? You got a lot of depth in that room this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty good for our offense. We'll be in a lot of big body sets, a lot of mismatches we can exploit. Cam, you got AJ, you got Hart too. So we got a lot of guys we can lean on, and we still have some young guys in that room that can ball too.
What kind of emphasis is being placed on blocking by not only Coach Mons, but really Roy and Billy as well?
I think that's the main phase for a tight end. I mean, there's a lot of tight ends in the league that do get touches, but it's a lot of them that don't get touches. And I think it's about maintaining your positioning, and I think blocking is like the number one thing. So we harp on it every day. Some games I'm not gonna have touches, some games I'm gonna have a lot, but it's just about keeping the main thing, and moving people out the way, protecting Sam. Allowing opportunities for like JT, Malik, and some of the new guys. Not being selfish.
What work did you do in the off season? Looks like you bulked up and you gained. Coach said you actually lost weight, but you gained muscle.
Yeah, just sticking to Coach Joe program. I got great mentors in there, Joe, Clay, and CC and Steve, and some other guys in there that probably don't get no recognition in there, but they do help me a lot. So I just been staying above that.
The screen game is a big part for the tight ends in this offense. You guys ran a lot of screens last year. Probably going to be a lot more screens this year too, without having to have the drop placement stuff. How fun is the screen game for the tight ends in this offense, just with the ability to get out in space and kind of move the ball?
I think it's really fun. I get to see the big boys in front of me and how they actually move. Seeing Skrill, Ben, or Kyle, Max, just going out there. So just going out there and having them next to me, just knowing they're about to move people for me. If not, they can rely on me to make somebody miss, and just having each other back at the end of the day.
How has your relationship with Coach Mons evolved since getting to Tempe?
It's been phenomenal. Probably the best relationship I've had in college with a coach. He's top tier. He comes every day, locked and loaded. That's our mindset. Just about bringing energy. And I feed off of him, he feed off of me. And sometimes we butt heads, but that's the part of being a great tight end and being a great coach. He may see something that I may not see at the moment, and I may see something that he doesn't see. And later on in the film, we'll go correct it. At the end of the day, that's family. I love the guy. He's gonna push me, I'm gonna push him.
What else is it about him? You obviously have a great working relationship, but to say he's your best coach you've ever had, what else about him makes him so unique to other coaches that you've had?
I think he's exploited my game to a different level. I came here with how much months? I came here in May, the end of May, coming in summer, and I was able to exploit in the few months I've been here. That just shows his resume. I don't had a full off season with him this year. We aiming for first team this year. We're not aiming for second team, nothing less. Rankings are whatever you want to call them. I'm not gonna downplay them, but we aiming for big goals this year, a repeat. Just trying to sustain success at the end of the day. So I think he comes in there clear-minded, trying to see how we're feeling, how we're thinking. He identifies the energy in the room early before we head out there. So I feel like we touch on that before we even step out of there. He's always saying the phrase, I really can't remember right now, but he's like, don't be a thermostat. I can't remember the other part, but he'll go remind me later when he sees this. But he's just a great coach to be around, man. I love the guy.
How can you and Sam take your relationship on the field to the next level this season?
Truth be told, I've never done a backflip in my life. Last week, me and Sam was doing backflips. Some things you just bring out of people, like just being around them, gathering, just seeing their perspective on life, and then seeing ours. He grew up a different way, I grew up a different way. It's all about building a relationship on and off the field. So I think we've done that pretty well this offseason, especially with a lot of new faces. Trying to fit in, because we had 80-some% guys returning, and then a bunch of new guys. And, when you come into a new team, it's like people already got their crews that they're already with. So it's about how do you build a relationship, get involved with people, and just knowing what each other like.
because that's how I was as a new guy. But I was very welcomed here, with open arms. So applaud to everybody in this locker room. I got love for them.
You kind of glossed over something here. Can you give the context of the backflip? What setting? Was it in a pool?
Yeah, it definitely was in a pool. First, I seen Hart double backflip, which was kind of insane to me. And then everybody was doing backflips. Truth be told, me and Kamari was like the only two people not doing nothing. Like, we were just regular. I mean, I'll front flip, but I won't do nothing crazy exotic like how they were. But they were going crazy, and I was like, you know what? Shoot, if they got no fear, I might as well not have no fear. Shoot, I went and tried it then. It was pretty close, but hey, we got it done. So that's all that matters.
You mentioned it a little bit already, having the full offseason in spring camp. How good was that for you this offseason?
I played last year through a amount of injuries. I pushed through it because I seen what we had ahead of us, and like one thing about it, I'm not selfish. I'm gonna sacrifice everything I can for this team, put it on the line. So this offseason, I was allowed to get healthy, be coached by Coach Joe, Coach Mons, and get to pick a Royal and Coach Hines head a little bit and get to see like different perspectives. Like I said, windows, timings, scheme, where to be at. It's about me being a better player on the field for Sam and making his life easier, and me helping the running backs be all that easier.
All right, how's the offseason been, man? Or I guess it probably hasn't felt like much of an offseason.
Nah, it's been great, man. I feel like it's been my best offseason yet. Overall, team-wise, I definitely feel like it's been a great offseason for us. Everybody just kind of, like I said, been head down working. Just focused on what we need to be focused on.
What's the energy in that linebacker room? Obviously, so many guys coming back. You, Keyshawn, Cyrus, Martell.
Yeah, man, it's a lot of excitement in the room. Just with so much, with what we got coming back, and then the addition to the young guys, with what they bring, it's a lot of experience, and then bringing in that mix, so they bring a lot of the energy and experience. It's gonna be fun. We excited for this camp and this season.
What are you looking forward to most with camp starting next week?
I'm just ready to get out there and go against the offense. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I feel like, I don't know. We at that point now, in the off season, you kind of get tired of lifting and doing all that. You ready to put a pad on? So I'm just ready to get out there.
100%. Is there anybody specific that you're looking forward to, that matchup going forward to, when we get to camp?
I talk to the tight ends every day, really. The tight ends and the running backs for real. I'm always talking a little smack, just to keep the energy up, things like that. But I'm definitely just, like I said, I'm ready to just go against, all of them. Have a good inside run period, just get some pass play.
Where do you looking to really put your focus when camp does arrive? On the field, where are you looking to improve the most?
Honestly, just really just my savviness in the pass game, honestly. And blitzing. Those two things I really feel like I'm working on the most. I feel like my run game is really solid, but I feel like, in the pass game, that area, I definitely feel like I can put myself in position to make more plays. So that's definitely something I'm gonna focus on this camp. And like I said, blitzing. Just going back and film last year, watching film, I feel like, blitzing, that's definitely another thing I want to work on.
10 of 11 defensive starters coming back, obviously minus Shamari. Just what do you feel like the next step for this defense is in 2025?
Man, like I said, year two, like I said, the difference between last year and this year, like I said, I feel like a lot of guys were, we were trying to figure out what we were doing, and what the other team was doing, with it being year two. I definitely feel like everybody has a clear understanding of what what we're doing and why we're doing it. Now it's just going out there and playing fast, and just being consistent with it. Being able to communicate, and I think you're gonna see a faster tempo to the defense. It's gonna look better.
Is there anything, and I know camp hasn't started yet, but is there anything that Coach Coop has been putting on you guys that getting into fall camp next week that you're okay, this is a general focus for the linebacker room or the defense in general?
I wouldn't necessarily say it's just been a clear focus. I would say they kind of been been hands off. They've been more so being player led. So I think the biggest thing for us was just we've been doing indie drills every day. So we've been going from A to Z, from with everything we need to work on, from pass to blitz,
run, and that's just been the emphasis. We're focused on one thing every single day, and we just been stacking up days, honestly.
I think there are a lot of folks that are obviously really, really excited about this season in general. Everybody wants to talk about the offense, right? Sam, Jordan, Shaman, all those guys. Why should people be excited about that ASU defense?
I think it's a beautiful thing to see when all 11 people, just play fast, play physical, play aggressive. I think it's beautiful. I'm biased because, like I said, I'm on defense, but it's definitely. I think it's great to see when everybody's playing fast, physical, and aggressive. And all 11 people at the ball, and doing that consistently. All game. That's to other teams. That's demeaning, and to the eye, it looks good. So I think that's why people should be excited for our defense.
What does a successful camp look like for Jordan Crook?
Just going out there playing fast, physical, aggressive every single day. I know I'm gonna go out there and show that every single day, and I know it's gonna be a great camp. I know it's gonna be a great one. I'm excited about it. It's gonna be out there fast, making plays, having fun, a lot of energy, and just kicking it with my teammates after a big party.
So, Crook, you're very, aggressive, intense, during practices and on and off the field. Can you tell us where that comes from?
It's just like the passion. Like I said, that's just the passion that I get from playing this game. I wake up every day I love this game. I feel like that's something that'll never change. It's always be. It's something I always carry with me.
I also see you got some bling on your wrist. I heard you got a Crook chain. What's the story behind that?
Man, I don't know.